going to do is we are going to be given transformations, and you have to write the equation of the transformed quadratic. So let's see. We have a vertical stretch by 8/3, a horizontal stretch by 7/2, reflect over the x-axis, shift up 8. Now you need to know what order these transformations happen in. So read the whole statement before you write the equation. The first thing I write is always if there's a minus sign for reflecting, which I do have. I have a reflection over the x-axis, so I have to put that minus sign first. And I've taken care of it. The next thing I would deal with is outside the parentheses would be any vertical stretch or compression, which I do have here. I have a vertical stretch. Now that vertical stretch, remember, if I look at my transformation chart here, the vertical stretch up here, you stretch by the number. You don't change that number that's in front. It's by that constant. So I'm stretching by 8/3. I'm putting 8/3 in my equation. So far I have negative 8/3. That's all that happens in front of the equation. So next I'm going to put my parentheses, squared. So I look inside. Things that happen inside are reflecting over the y, horizontal stretch, compression, and left and right. I do have a horizontal stretch. When I horizontally stretch, this one, I take, here it is, a horizontal stretch. I take the reciprocal of the number that I'm stretching by and put it in the parentheses. So I'm stretching by 7/2. I want to take the reciprocal of that and put it in front of the x. Lastly, I have an up 8, which goes outside on the end with a plus. Okay, so you have to know the order that these come in the equation and how to write them. Next equation, reflect over the y-axis, horizontal compression by 5/7, shifted down 9. All right, so there's nothing that's going to happen out in front of my parentheses this time because I'm not vertically compressing or stretching, and I'm not reflecting over the x-axis. So I'm going to jump right to my parentheses. Now the first thing I notice is that the first thing that happens is I reflect over the y-axis. That's going to be a minus inside those parentheses. The next thing that happens inside the parentheses is a horizontal compression. Now, just like the stretch up above, the compression, I take the reciprocal of that value and put it in front of the x. Right? The compression is the reciprocal of the 5/7, so 7/5 x. Lastly, if I'm shifting down 9, that goes outside the parentheses on the end. All right, last problem here. All right, I'm having vertical compression by 3/10, horizontal stretch by 9, reflect over the y-axis, and down 2. So I'm going to set up my equation here. Now, y equals, I'm going to have a vertical compression. That is going to go outside of my parentheses. I'm going to have a set of parentheses here. The compression goes outside. Now, just like we had up above, when you have a vertical compression, the number stays the same. It does not change in the equation. So I'm still going to put a 3/10 in front of my parentheses. Vertical doesn't change. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to have two things. I have a horizontal stretch and a reflection over the y-axis. I have to put the y-axis one first. Right? I have to put the minus sign in the parentheses for that reflection. Then I can write the horizontal stretch. Remember, horizontal, you take the reciprocal of the value that you're stretching by. So the reciprocal of 9 is 1/9, and then I'll put my x. And lastly, we'll have down 2, which puts a -2 on the end of your equation. If you have questions on those, ask your teacher.